Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is WENDU ISAAC. If this is your first time here, you're definitely welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me again. Today is 2022, y'all, and the vibe is lit. The vibe is lit. January was definitely a trial run. Definitely, we were catching up. We were trying to figure out what this year was about. We were trying to figure out why we're still in pandemic, why we're now in lockdown, whatnot. It was a trial run. Things were coming at us left, right, center. Maybe it's only me I'm talking about, but it's okay. It could be you as well. But 2022 is finally off to a great start. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I'm grateful. Let me know in the comment section if you're grateful for 2022, what you're looking forward to, what your word for the year is, what your focus is. So anyways, and that's like a great segue, I guess, into the topic. So as you can see from the title, we're talking about how to achieve your goals in this year 2022, because it's one thing to have goals, it's another thing to achieve them. So I'm going to take you through like a few tips and things that I'm also like learning and I have learned that are gonna help all of us, because I want us to succeed this year. I don't want this year to just go by like another normal year, and we don't achieve things that we want to achieve, and it just looks like we're wasting time and we're not moving forward in the purposes of God for our lives, or moving forward in things that that we want to accomplish. It's a different thing obviously if there are like other circumstances that are stopping you from achieving what you want to achieve, but as far as it's like left to you, things that you can do, I think this year we should really push and achieve those goals. The first thing I'm going to say is obviously write the goal, make it plain. The Bible says write the vision, make it plain, so that he who reads it can run with it. It's very important to write the goals, because sometimes obviously you start the year, you have like new ginger, you have new ideas, you're like focused, like, okay, what do I want to achieve this year, what did I want to achieve last year that I couldn't, or what are the things that I started working on that I need to complete this year. Your mind is fresh, you're in a reflective mood. So like at that beginning of the year, or like towards the end of it, and like the last year, your mind is like reflecting, you're thinking, you're writing those things down. It's always good to write it, because in the middle of the year, sure, you can create new goals throughout the year, and that's great. But when you are thinking like broad picture of things that you want to achieve in 2022, for example, like it usually happens like in the beginning of the year, and sometimes if you don't write those things and if you don't capture it, there's no way to remember, because sometimes you go through the year and you lose momentum and you forget what 2022 is even all about. You forget what you wanted to achieve that year. You're just going with the vibes, going with the flow, and going with the flow is never ever a good plan. It's never a good plan, please. It will always fail. So write those goals down, make it like yearly. Obviously I hope you already have your 2022 goals, but if you don't, it's also like a great time to write the goals down. Write the big goals, write the quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, all of that. Like just start big and kind of start breaking it down a bit. I don't know if you guys have seen this video on TikTok. You cook very nicely, you cook very nicely, but the way that she stresses the B, I'm gonna put a video here because that's why I said a bit. The way that she stressed that B, and it's stuck in my head.
You cook very nicely, you cook very nicely, but reduce the salt a bit. You see, I could not even eat everything.
Anyways, so that's number one. Number two is, because you've written these goals, you need to go back. You need to go back to what you've written. You need to look at what you've written. Say like in January I said by March, I want to get a pet, for example. Random example, but let's say that's what I said. I can go back in March and look at my list and kind of start checking off things and be like, oh, I didn't do this. Why didn't I do this? what better structures can I put in place so I can do it next year? Was it something like financial? Was it something like, did I think that my situation would have changed so that I will be able to have a pet and it didn't? Like, you'll be able to like evaluate because you wrote it and you went back to it. You'll be able to evaluate and be like, okay, is this goal still a very important goal of mine? If it is, how can I make sure that I, meet this goal, whether it's this month now or like next month or whatever, if you need to like extend it and stuff like that. But see, if you didn't write it in the first place, you're not going to be able to evaluate it. And if you don't go back, it's just lying in what's it called, in space, like you don't know what's happening. So it's always good to go back to go and see what's happening with your goals, see where you are at, what you need, maybe the things that you projected wrongly, things that need to be fixed, how you need to go about it, and then you need to make plans. So having a goal without a plan is basically you just want to fail. This is giving me it's giving aspire to perspire vibes. Please, I'm not a motivational speaker, please. We're just all learning together. But if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's what motivational speakers say. So obviously, when you write those goals, you need to make plans of how you're going to achieve those goals. Make it like very basic. Say you want to, be healthier or like lose weight. That's a goal. That's a yearly goal. What are the plans that you're going to take? Are you going to start eating healthy? Are you going to cut carbs? Are you going to start measuring macros and micros? I don't know the terminology. Are you going to start working out? What kind of workout are you going to do? What days in the week are you going to start working out? Like you need to make it so basic to that very granular level that is easy to follow up on. It's easy to say, okay, I've done this step, I've done this step, I've done this step, and everything is adding up to that goal. You feel me? You feel me? Okay. Next thing definitely is to involve God. Me, the way I like to do my life, I like involving God even from the writing goal stage. I ask the Lord, like, what are the things that you want me to achieve this year? Like, what is your own vision for me? What are the things that I need to focus on? Maybe there's some things that were important for me to focus on the year before that you're asking me to let go of. Maybe there's some things that in the horizon that are coming up that I don't even know that you want me to like open my eyes to see, like, and have like the open my eyes so that when the opportunity arises, I know that okay, this is something that God is intending for me to do. So I like to involve him from that step and ask him obviously for help, because the Bible says the Holy Spirit is our helper. So I like to go, like, I don't do New Year resolutions. I say, God, what is your plan for this year? And then go from there. But say you're someone who like writes goals and none of the two steps are not like one is better than the other necessarily. You can also have goals and go to God and say, okay, like these are the goals that I have, like, and bring that to God and let it be something that you're open to discussing, open to hearing his opinion on. Maybe like he needs to vet it, and then the ones that he has vetted, is that a word? Vet. Seems like a word. The ones that like you guys have agreed upon together, because I feel like agreement is good. Sometimes we have goals that don't necessarily fit with what God is saying for a time and a season, and sis, it'll be a struggle. So when you know that you're aligned, then it's easier, and then you can ask God for help, because like I said in the beginning, sometimes momentum just kind of drops as the year, goes by. Like last year, for example, I came on this channel. I told you guys, I had a goal to be healthier, live healthier, be like a smaller size. And I started, it was great. I was eating healthy, I was juicing, I was exercising, I was being consistent. The summertime, it was really nice going out for walks and running with my friends and all that. And it just kind of dwindled as winter time came. And I do understand that obviously winter has its own emotional things, but it just goes to show that your momentum can easily dwindle, and sometimes you just really need God to help you. Not sometimes, all the time, you need God to help you. You also don't want to allow your emotions to be the one that's leading you. That's my next tip. Like, don't allow your emotions to be the one leading you. It's so easy to say, I'm not feeling like doing this, or I don't want to work, I don't want to create content, I don't want to do anything that will move me forward. I want 5 million subscribers, but I don't want to stand up and record today because I'm tired. I just want to watch Netflix. You're doing yourself. So don't allow your emotions to lead you. You are the boss of your emotions, you're the boss of your feelings. Just try, even if it's doing like, this feeling is very, 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 very important. Try to be the one that is leading, because you have more sense. Basically, you have more sense on your feelings and your emotions. Next is to have accountability. Honestly, I can't even stress this one enough. You need to have accountability with people that you respect, with people that will actually keep you accountable, and with people that will not give you kind of free pass. Like, okay, maybe they can give you free pass today or tomorrow, but you want people that you actually know that you can trust to like remind you, okay, these are your goals. For example, my sister, we were discussing something about makeup and all of that, and she was like, okay, so what is the plan? And I said, okay, I guess I can do this like every Saturday or something, and I haven't done it like that. And she said, so how far? I said, She said, how far now? And I said, oh yeah, thank you for keeping me accountable. Now I know that going into this week, like I'm going to start doing the things that I said I was going to do. I have some, like I said, I wanted to read books, 1 book a year. I said that on my Instagram. I wanted to read 1 book a month for this year, and there's a friend of mine who's keeping me accountable. Like, basically, I have people that keep me accountable for different things. So even be someone that's keeping you accountable for your spiritual growth, and you like committing to spiritual practices to help you grow and mature in Christ. So accountability cannot be stressed enough. It's something that is needed. Whether you think you are strong enough to go after your goals or not, life can happen and hit you at any point in time, and it's always nice to just have someone there that like is pushing you towards those goals. I was listening to a sermon from that my pastor preached in church, and basically he was saying that a real friend is someone who pushes you towards the purposes of God. And he was using the example of Peter and Jesus. And like when Jesus, if you don't know, I'll say the story. But so Jesus had just asked his disciples, who do men say that I am? And they said some say you're the prophet, some say you're Jeremiah, la la la. And he said, who do you say that I am? And Peter said, you are the Christ, the Son of God. And Jesus said, oh, you know what? Flesh and blood hasn't revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. This is like literally one verse, and then there's one verse after where Jesus is telling them, the Son of Man has to die and be buried and suffer. It's basically prophesying his death, burial, resurrection, and suffering on the cross. And Peter is like, God forbid, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. What do you mean I'm gonna die? Like he's already feeling himself, because Jesus said, you, Peter, and I tell you, Peter, you are the rock, and upon this rock I'm going to build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail, because he had just said who Jesus was. The way Jesus turned and said, I rebuke you, devil. So it's like, how do you go from like, Peter, you're a guy that God has revealed who I am to, and upon you as the rock I'm going to build my church. And then the next verse, Jesus is saying, get thee behind me, Satan. You know why? Because Peter wasn't moving Jesus towards the purposes of God. Peter was trying to take him back, because the plan of God, the will of God for Jesus was to come and die so that we can be reconciled to him. And at that point, Peter was moving with emotions and telling him, like, you don't have to do that. Just stay on earth. If Jesus had stayed on earth without dying, I don't know what we would be with our lives. We'll still be killing ram and goats. So he wasn't moving Jesus basically into the purposes of God. So you want to have people that will move you towards the purposes of God. And whether you're Christian or not, you want to have people that will push you towards your goal. If I've told you, oh, this is the goal that I have for myself this year, I want to be able to know that at some point, it doesn't have to be something that you're saying to me every day, like how far, but I want to be able to know that at some point you're going to ask me, like, how's this going, what's the progress, what is the status and stuff. And if for whatever reason I have put it at the back burner, I can bring it back to the front and be like, oh yeah, that was something that I said I wanted to do, and let me go back to it. So accountability is very, very important. Next thing, this is a long sentence, but basically, say you know that you struggle with procrastination or you struggle with forming good habits, blah blah blah. Identify what that struggle is and look for solutions. Learn things, read books. For example, mine, I knew this year it was so hard for me to like create routine and stick to it and form good habits. And I was like, I asked people on my Instagram, I beg, help my life. What should I read? Because I just knew I needed to develop my mind. And they recommended books. They recommended Atomic Habits and some other ones. I remember Atomic Habits because I've downloaded that and I want to read that. And the other one I'm going to read is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So that's something that I noticed that I could be better at, and that was kind of like stopping me from going forward in the things that I said I wanted to do. So I mean, everybody has their own individual struggle. Something that is kind of like the thorn in your flesh that is like you want to go forward, but it's keeping you either stagnant or it's keeping you 2 steps, 5 steps, 10 steps, 100 steps backward. You want to figure out that struggle. You want to find a solution. If that solution is maybe joining a group online where they talk about it, I don't know, a group for procrastinators. Who knows? You want to find solutions. You want to learn. You want to develop your mind. You want to see how that behavior can be either completely gone, watered down, changed, stuff like that. And most of the time, it will be like, through learning. The last tip that I have is to utilize technology. Utilize technology because technology is your friend. Okay? For me, my calendar is like fully packed. I have different things on there. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I know that Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are the days that I want to be working out. I can work out any other day, but those 3 days I'm committed to working out. And if I don't, my accountability partners for my working out ministry have every right to insult me and every right to drag me and say, babes, you didn't work out yesterday, go and work out, because you said at least you're going to give yourself 3 days in a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to work out. So that's just one technology calendar app, but there's so many other things. They're like to-do apps, like to do things that can keep you on track. They're like management apps like Asana, Monday, where you can categorize. And I also use Trello. I really love Trello, especially like for my social media planning, where you can basically like just map out your life and map out everything and write everything down and just be like, okay, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do, and it's like in your face. There's notes app. I mean, these are just like little apps that I know and I use that help me, but I'm sure that there are different apps for what you might need. Say maybe you're someone who likes to use your phone a lot and use Instagram a lot, and that distracts you during the day. On your iPhone, you can set like a limit for how many hours or how many minutes that you want to spend on the app for a day. So if you find yourself going down the rabbit hole on Instagram, it will remind you. For me, for example, I have it on for both TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, all 3 apps, and all 3 of them combined. I can only be there 2 hours a day. When I'm there, sometimes I'm there, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I have to do what I'm saying, and I'm still there 1 hour after, and then my phone will just say time up. I say sometimes I used to ignore the time, because you can, obviously it's not the best, you can, But sometimes I really feel so appreciative. I'm like, thank you so much. Thank you, because I could not have done this by myself at this moment. It was like a stronghold. So technology is necessary, honestly. There's also like all this Pomodoro. This is where English is gonna embarrass me. Pomodoro. It's like a timer where you can say, I think it's like a technique where you do like 25 minutes walk and 5 minutes of play, 25 minutes walk, 5 minutes of play, 25 minutes walk, 5 minutes of play, stuff like that. So I think that is sweet. If that's something that you struggle, just find things that you struggle with and look for solutions for one to, you know, help your mind to learn and be better and improve, develop yourself. And then also find technology, software, things that have been created by people to solve your problems. There's literally a solution for a problem out there, and if there's not, you can go and build it. But honestly, there's usually like a solution out there already. And I don't think I mentioned this, but journal, take notes, take as many notes as possible, you know, just keep track of where you are, be mindful, be reflective, and don't allow your emotions to fail you. I feel like 2022 is a big year and big things are going, you know, big things. We need to be doing big things. We need to make money. We need to travel. We need to do things that we haven't done before, and we cannot allow emotions. We cannot allow laziness, procrastination, all those things. As I'm talking to me, I'm talking to myself, because I know that those have been the things that have been drawing me back, and I don't want to draw me back anymore. So I said, let me just come and share what I'm learning, and we can, you know, be better at this together. So this is my advice, tips and tricks. Things that you should know, I guess, for the year 2022. I'm praying that your year will be blessed beyond even what you could have ever imagined. Okay? And I'm praying that the goals that you have that are not within your power to make happen, that God will intervene. For example, a lot of women that I know or that are on the internet want to be married. That's a goal, of course, that's a goal. And maybe they can make plans to, you know, start dating online or go out more and stuff. By the end of the day, except you're like some people who can shoot their shot, and because some men will even allow you to pursue them if you allow them, but except you're on that spectrum, the general gist is that you can plan to make yourself more accessible, make yourself more visible, I should say, but ultimately it depends on the other person. So those are kind of some goals that might be outside your outside your control. So I pray that God will intervene and, you know, show up for you and grant you favor and grant you His mercy and just cause you to be seen. I know it's not just marriage. I just use that as an example because that was obviously very, very easy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you did. If you didn't, don't let me know. I don't want that kind of feedback, please. The constructive feedback I want is positive. I'm joking. Am I? Am I really? Just let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed this video particularly, and have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, have a wonderful year, have a wonderful, she said month, I should have said month before year, but have a wonderful everything, Sha. Alright, yeah, that's it. See you in my next video, and you can also like let me know in the comment section down below what you want to see this year on my channel. All right, a girl like me is planning what to be posting, and I will take everything that you say very, very, very seriously. Okay, bye.